Hello, and welcome back to Foos Entertainment for another review. Today we will be reviewing Saw 3. Just give me a second here. Yeah, that's better. So Saw 3. The first one since the first movie that I actually like in the series. Keep in mind though, in a lot of ways, the Saw films are definitely not my cup of tea. But like I said, films surprised me. That's what, in a lot of ways, what all this is about. So I can revisit movies with a fresh perspective. I actually liked the movie. I actually did like Saw Part 3. I can say this, forgotten how much this movie makes me cringe. There's a sequence to where the doctor goes ahead and opens up his skull and takes a piece of his skull out and see his brain and stuff. That always makes me But the premise of the story is pretty much this. Takes place a few weeks, possibly a month and a half at most, after the events of Saw 2. Pretty much, Detective Matthews has been missing the entire time. More diabolical traps are being set. And a new plot gets unleashed that these new diabolical traps are not set by Jigsaw because they're impossible for the subjects to actually survive. Then we find Jigsaw pretty much on his deathbed. And he's setting to plan one final game. And pretty much kidnaps a nurse, doctor, surgeon from the hospital to operate on. Tries to save his life. Hugh is linked to a vengeful husband. They lost their child due to a tragic automobile accident. And they also have a neglected daughter. So Jigsaw put into motion a game of rehabilitation for the vengeful husband to get over his revenge obsession over the death of his son by making him take a series of tests, he calls them. Basically what they really are is he gets a given opportunity to forgive by saving the people that he holds accountable for his son's murderer to be set free on technicality. And in the process, he does not learn to forgive. Meanwhile, his wife is being blackmailed with a necklace of some kind around her neck that has triggers. They're linked to Jigsaw's heart monitor, which means that she does not save his life. Shotgun rounds from all over. Which of course brings us to the end, and of course what the game was all about. The game was actually about Amanda, his protege. He was one that survived the barricade trap in the first movie. It turns out that she has been murdering people rather than putting them through Jigsaw's diabolical games in which they are given a chance to survive. She rigs them to where they have no chance to survive and they die. Pretty much being a murderer. So he knows about all this. She would even go to the extent of really killing the survivors. Like, for example, Adam. She went ahead and put a plastic bag over his head and tried to suffocate him. When that didn't work, she slammed his head against pavement a few times until he died. So pretty much she's a serial killer, essentially. And he gives, and then how he puts it is out of desperation, I'm going to give you one more chance to redeem yourself. So the object of the game was actually Amanda's test to follow the rules and to redeem herself, and she didn't. She shoots the nurse in the chest with a .40 caliber round. Vengeful husband discovers it, shoots her in the neck with a 9mm round. She's bleeding out. The Jigsaw's exposing that this was your test. Then gives the vengeful husband one more test. The final test is what I would put it. You can either choose to forgive me and save your wife and live happily ever after, or you can let your obsession control you and take your revenge out on me for the pain I've caused you and your family. Well, he really should have forgave Jigsaw and just took his wife to the hospital and lived happily ever after, because he decided to take a blade, surgical blade, and then a saw, so he'd sawed his neck. Yeah, obviously, like I said, his heart monitor is linked to the diabolical necklace that his wife was holding on her head. Well, his heart stopped, so and that's pretty much how the movie ends. Now, what I like about this movie is it's so interesting. All of the things that they did in this movie. The subplots are interesting. The flow of the movie is interesting. I definitely really enjoyed it. The last film, to me, just the characters were irritated in the last movie in Saw 2, but the characters are actually not. They're actually more developed. They actually have more character development in the third Saw film. I cannot say the same thing about Saw 2. The characters were all too tamed and irritating and annoying. They're not in this one. They're not in Saw 3. So that's pretty much my views on that. Now let's go into audio and video quality. There's more cool temperature at certain scenes of the movie, and there's warm temperature for the majority of the film. Now, people may not know this, but there's actually two different unrated cuts of this movie. This is the unrated edition. This in this box set. There's also an unrated director's cut. Now, the unrated director's cut, for some odd reason, it literally looks like the whole movie looks like a cool temperatured film. It has some extended sequences in it. The unrated version, which is the version in this set, looks like the typical Saw movie that we've seen as far with the first two. This one tends to be more warm, like the second movie, but there are points to the film where it's very cool. So it's a lot like the second movie in that regard. But I would say there's a lot more imagery in this movie than there was in the first two. Audio quality. Again, solid 5.1 track. I mean, they really really made sure that with these films, at least so far, give them room, one at a time. It would be multiple this weekend, of course. If I get done with these by the end of the weekend. But basically, the sound is always very solid in these movies. Always a lot of surround, a lot of stereo, a lot of mono. Everything is always very solid in these movies. And so yeah, you'll get a kick out of the 5.1 track. And well, I'm happy to announce that I am no longer limited to 15 minutes. I can talk as long as I want about any movie in front of you. I will reserve extended record time for when I really get deep in depth about why I hate a movie, like say next month. We're doing that a lot. But that's my views on Saw 3. Did you like Saw 3? Did you not like Saw 3? Like this video? Do you not like this video? As always, subscribe, check back in on me, share this video with friends. I will see you next time for my review of Saw 4. Have a good day.